This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Keller's Garden Center and Landscaping Services. Winter is here, and I encourage you to save your back this year. Contact Keller's today and get a quote for residential or commercial snow removal. And also, it is never too early to start thinking about spring. COVID has put a delay on so many things. Do not delay in getting yourself set up with one of the best in the business when it comes to getting your yard looking its best. Visit Keller's at their location on Kern Street in Exeter, Pennsylvania, just down the street from Blue Ribbon Dairy, or head over to their social media pages for more information. My guest today is Hugo Ferreira, lead singer and the only original member remaining from the band Tantric. We talk about what it was like achieving such huge success right out of the gate with their self-titled album in 2001, the band's music over the last 2 decades, what their fans mean to them, future plans, and even a story he has about the city of Scranton, where the band has performed a few times. This one was special for me, as Tantric's debut album was a soundtrack for my freshman year of college. And I never thought that one day, 20 years later, that I'd be interviewing the lead singer of one of my favorite bands from that time period. Welcome to the show, Hugo Ferreira of the band Tantric. And we're live from the back seat.
Dude, this car is awesome, man. You guys see that TV in here? There's a guy over there.
It looks fantastic.
Dude. What's going on, man?
What's up?
So you come with the car? You're the car.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
exactly.
Take me to the adults club, please. Hello.
right away, sir. Right away, sir. Right away. I spent a lot of my youth, my early 20s, in those kind of establishments.
Yeah. It's a great place to find, just that significant other that you've been searching for.
Well, you have no idea.
Because when they make it through college,
yes,
they're going to take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you have no idea how much this means to me. Hugo is the front man and one of the founders, essentially, of the band Tantric.
That's it. Somebody holds up the guitar.
And no, if I sound nervous, it's because I am. I mean, Tantric. That's what I said.
Right.
They're
like, I love Tantrum.
You have to be very careful searching your name on the internet.
Yeah, I never do, but I heard there's the pornage.
Yeah, you can find some interesting things searching Tantric.
I know. Here's the weird thing about my band name. Like literally everybody associates it with sex, right?
Right.
And which puts a very high bar to you to live up to. You know what I'm saying? Your band name is Tantric. And I'm like, so that 15-minute stunt is not going to do it. But so don't ever name your band with any association with something that you're actually not any good at.
Fair enough. For all the kids out there. Yeah.
Really. I'm good at juggling.
Yeah, why not?
Great at Legos.
Well, Hugo, thank you so much for doing this and taking the time. I mean, I know you're practicing it for an upcoming tour.
Yeah.
But when I was in college, I found your band. It was 2001. I think that's when your first release came out, the self-titled album. Yeah. With songs like Morning and Breakdown and Astounded. And I tend to really focus, or I tie certain music and certain albums to certain points in my life. Maybe it's because I just started college.
Does that.
Yeah, that's what's awesome about music. It's really great.
My music is the soundtrack to parts of your life.
It really is, dude. You have no idea.
You know how honored, and when I hear that, it never gets old because, out of anything that you benefit from, whatever attention you may get and whatever financial gain you may have, the thing that really, just makes me fucking dusty in here is just knowing that because I know how those moments feel because I have them myself, you know, and they're so fucking important. And to know somehow, some way, this idiot kind of by no you know, it's definitely not because of me, but part of their life, you know. It's like, it's really an honor, you know. It's like your song become a movie, and it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to know that are relevant to you.
You're breaking up a little bit. Are you back? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm totally back.
Okay, cool.
Hold on, let me get closer to the house.
Drive. Oh, you're driving. Okay, cool.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
No. Well, I guess that's a great place to start is, you know, your first album, your most successful album. I mean,
yeah, but I wouldn't say it's the most successful to me.
Well, like sure, of course.
Yeah, but most monetarily successful.
Yeah, I mean, what was that like? I mean, you know, you founded with two ex-members of Days of the New, and you started at a time where, you know, there's bands out.
Like in a car accident, and it just goes really fast, and then like only in retrospect, only as you're remembering it, does it. You kind of take it play by play, but it felt like it just went, and then only in my more pensive and older years do I reflect upon it and really I'm enjoying the reflection of it as much as I am of how it all began, you know, as much as I am right now, you know, somewhat. But it was you know, man, like that doesn't happen to people, you know, like I love music, man. I had no ambition to be a rock star at all. Like I wasn't trying to get these chicks. That wasn't even anything close to my thought process. It was just, I was a good kid, and I had some sincerity in it, and I had some stuff to say, and man, it was just so like, I can't believe this is actually happening, you know. And they say that luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and boy, you know, when we got the opportunity, I was fucking prepared in every single way, and I can honestly say that it's been 2 decades, which is a long time, and it goes by like that, as you know, right?
Yeah.
But it's still fucking amazing to me that I actually lived this life, and as much as tumultuous as it can be, of
course,
like that one moment where you know you're affecting these people, and they're coming to this gathering so that you can take them away from whatever it is. It's a fucking amazing, you know, it's an amazing thing because you're just making it for yourself, you know. It's just like you made this thing because you like it and it's something you like to do, and then all these people reflect it. It's like, it's amazing. So I'm really grateful, man.
Of course. And I mean, what was it like being, you know, you were part of like the early 2000s where you had bands like Stained and Nickelback and Creed and Default and Breaking Benjamin, like
era, right? But
yeah,
at the time I didn't think of it as an, like, you know, like this, I'm part of this like post grunge or grunge or like this era of music, you know, just like, you know, like, you know, AC/DC is part of their own era, and like whatever, you know, if you go back the 80s, you know, I wasn't aware, you know, I was just like, as I do every time, no matter how small or how large the audience or stage or ears that are listening to it, I'm just like, you know, I'm like just strapped in and just having a blast, and I really enjoy it, and I enjoy the struggles too, because the struggles definitely create the contrast that you need to appreciate it to keep on going.
And would you consider some of those struggles, you know, I mean, you've been around for 2 decades, like you said, and you're still you're like the last man standing, like, so I feel like every album they may have been different players.
Listen, to me, it's not really a struggle. It's just like, you like candy? Yes. You want to keep on eating it? Of course I do. Right? To me, the struggle is that things change, you know, and you have to change with them. And, you know, you have to define what you consider success, or in a little different way, to just keep you getting up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, sometimes that part is hard. You know, you gotta, like, you know, this shit happens all at once or not at all or somewhere in between. You know, it's a very sporadic type of thing. And, you know, sometimes I'll be going like this, and sometimes I'll be like, fuck, you know, but it's all fun. And at the end, I don't really remember the bad parts. So just like, I just remember that. Can you believe that shit happened? Yeah. And now I'm just like, you know, I'm in my tenure of like being here, I'm just kind of like exploring other shit that I can do. You know, I've always known I could do other musical genres and shit like that. But like now it's kind of like it's time and everything's kind of evolving nicely. You know, my life's unfolding quite lovely.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
So making good choices.
You haven't been married yet? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's probably a smart move.
I'm definitely a smart move. Do you know how many toys I've got?
I am. But my wife is
I know, but it's a smart move for me, not for you.
I understand.
This is interviewer's wife.
I understand.
I don't like.
Yeah, she won't listen to this. Don't worry.
Yeah, she supports you from a distance.
She does. She's very supportive, but she's
now go back downstairs, honey. Go back downstairs.
Yeah, get up the steps.
Go play with your toys downstairs, Mr. Yeah, but I mean, I used to date. You know, people. It's weird when you date somebody that like you love so much and they love you so much, but they have nothing to do with that part of you. It's like you're fucking Batman when you go in there. They're like, oh, he does this little music thing and he shakes his little tambourines. I was like, there's a little more to it than I forget it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you've been able to create music every 3 or 4 years, new albums year after year, and what keeps you going after this long?
I create music every day. I'm only able to release it every 3 or 4 years because if it was up to me, man, I'd probably write 100 songs in a year.
Wow.
Maybe they're not all good, but I'm always doing it. Even when I don't even have an instrument, it's always just happening. You know, there's shit going on. But now, like I'm not in, like, you know, I've done some weird shit. I did a song in Portuguese with this girl named Cici Santana, and it was like this Brazilian bossa nova shit. And I was like, yeah, I could do that too. And it's cool to know that I'm not really like, you know, when you're younger, you're like, yeah, I'm in a fucking rock band, dude. I'm not playing no fun, you know. And now it's kind of cool to appreciate.
Where'd you go?
We are off like a herd of turkeys.
We're back.
Problem. Dude, like ourselves.
This may be the most chaotic podcast I've ever done.
Oh, well, it doesn't surprise me at all that I'm part of it. You know,
we'll put it together. We'll cut it up and put it together.
It very well could be because of me that it is like that.
That's okay. Is that your life? Is that who you are?
Yeah, I bring as far as you know, just a tornado that just kind of like just throws everything. Yeah, pretty much. I'm like the poster child of ADD, so I have to be doing 16 things at once, and all with a master plan that only I am aware of.
Gotcha. I was like, Hugo, if you didn't want to do the podcast, you could have just like said you didn't want to do it. You don't have to like fake.
Right. I will drive there, wherever it is. I'll go in your basement.
We'll do it face to face. We can't though. It's COVID. It's COVID season.
Look, you want a beer? You want a beer, dude?
A beer? I would love a beer.
So where are you? Where are you based?
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
And you guys specifically. Yeah, Scranton specifically. You guys actually played here a couple times. Yep.
Yeah, I played there a shit ton of times, and it's good people of Scranton.
Yeah, and I missed you every single time.
Right. So hold on. It's not in Scranton where they make that beer, the Yingling?
That's Pottsville, I believe.
Pottsville.
Yeah. So which is it's close. It's like an hour and a half or so from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scranton is known for The Office.
Yeah, and there's also this. I have some history in Scranton. I did this. I raced to Scranton and back once on a dare.
On a dare.
Well, here's the thing. This might not be relevant to music, so we might want to conversate about this after.
No, that's fine.
But basically, I'm a big car guy. I love cars, and I like to go fast in them, and I like performance cars. So I once had like a night vision goggles.
Sure.
And I had a flat black M6, which is like, a sports car. It's like a Beamer. And I drove from Boston to Scranton with no lights on all the way down. Like, for all you people that have seen the old Cannonball Run movie where Jackie Chan shuts off his lights and is just doing that, I did that to Scranton and back.
No accidents?
Well, there's no people, but I could see perfectly, even though if you're a police officer trying to like scan, you were just not really see anything. It was a flat black car
sure.
with no lights on in the middle of the night. In retrospect, I've made better choices and made better decisions, but I made it through. So
yeah, you're here today to tell a story. When was that?
There you go. When was that?
Yeah.
Like what week are we in? That wasn't that long ago.
Really?
So it wasn't that long ago.
Wow.
Let's see, a couple of years. So but I had to beat some sort of world record because I was going pretty quick.
How fast did you get to Boston to Scranton?
I don't know. I think it's normally a 6-hour drive.
Yeah.
And I think I did it in like just shy of 4.
Okay. And then you got to Scranton and turn around and went home, or what?
No. I went to this particular girl's house and I said, "Hey, bye." She found it amusing.
Did she invite you in?
I mean, are we doing an interview here? Or we're in your penthouse forums? Of course she invited me in. I just drove 6 hours in 3.5 hours. I risked my life.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. I was hoping that's what I thought maybe you just got there.
Yeah, she was impressed. Okay. It was totally worth it.
All right.
Totally worth it.
Good.
Good. Women, they still like that chivalrous act of courage or stupidity in my case.
They do. They like to be.
They're like, oh my God, she totally did that for me. That's all the girls that do sound like. They're like, oh my God. I know. Again, choices.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have much to offer either, so it doesn't matter. Hey, this is a self-deprecation hour by Hugo Ferreira.
Hey, I don't care what we talk about. It's all good.
Okay, let's talk about music. That's the only thing that I should have some street cred on. So let's go. Let's build that street cred back up.
All right. So back to the music. I don't know what were we discussing before. I know we were talking about
discussing that now as being around for a long time, that the difference about how I appreciate things versus then, and you were saying you were like the best. You were like so cool, and you were saying that over again.
Well, I mean, you were. I mean, that's not a lie. I mean,
my interviews tend to be random. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. And that's what it's all about. There's no script here, so it's all good.
It's about looking into the personality of your favorite or maybe non-favorite artist.
They always say, what do they say? Never meet your
What are they like in your life? Yeah. Oh, if you meet your idol, you'll be disappointed. Is that what you meant?
I'm totally kidding, but that's the saying, right?
No, but there's some truth to it, because I've met a couple of people that I was like, I thought you were cool, but you're kind of a dick.
Well, you're not.
I said it to myself, so I didn't hurt their feelings.
Yeah. Well, I think we were talking about just being able to pump out music every 3-4 years, but you always write consistently anyway. So it's just like it just kind of happens.
I always have a guitar in my trunk. Always have a guitar in my trunk, and I'm impatient, so I don't like to wait for shit. So like I don't have that calm demeanor. I'm just like, come on. So I'll always pull it out and just like, shred it a little bit with the acoustic.
Yeah. So how long have the guys that you're with now been with you?
Actually, a decent amount of time, about 5 or 6 years.
That's great.
And I'm not even just saying this. They're amazing. I mean, I have an amazing, amazing band. And Tantric is certainly a sum of its parts, you know, like I'm just a part of it. But this band is, you know, I have like their work ethic, their drive, you know, how much I lean on them to, you know, for so many things is amazing. They're great friends. I mean, I would say it's the happiest I've ever been in any incarnation of any of Tantric or anything before, because this is, you know, when you picture something how it should be, that's how I feel like it is. Other than me, like kind of throwing wrenches in it every now and then, but you know, I'm the elder, so you're gonna have to deal with that.
Well, yeah, they got to follow the leader, right?
I don't know that I'm a leader, but I lead when appropriate. You know, like you know. But I try to dictate or allocate responsibilities to those who can do it better. You know, if that should be me, I'll do it. But really, you know, telling about that, we drive 100,000 miles in a year and like don't even flinch. You know, and that says something about a group of people that can be that together in that tight quarters all the time and just still have a blast every day.
Yeah, and you guys are you about to go back out on tour, or?
We haven't stopped. I literally can say, what is stopping touring? I think the most we've ever had off, and it's like starting point to end point, is maybe 2 weeks for the last 5 years.
Well, what about COVID?
What about COVID? We never really affected us that much because basically, you know, we wrote records, you know, we wrote music and we did did our little thing, but also we would still play around us. Like, we go to these venues and we'd be somewhat cautiously responsible, but, you know what I'm saying? You know, there's not a lot of help from the federal government for musicians. I mean, there was that little bit, but, you know, luckily, I have a little bit of thing, but in people, you know, in this thing, which is sad, you know, they should protect the arts as much as they protect Joe Schmo who fucking swings a hammer. But not so much.
Yeah, what was that like?
I'm a physical genius.
What was that like, though, for you guys? I mean, obviously, you know, you said you weren't really affected too much by it, but I mean, you were. I mean, like, what was that like?
We were, but the thing is that it didn't like depress me, and you know, we found a way to stay busy. We found a way to like just tread above water, but there was times where we were definitely taking in a lot of water. It's just as bad, you know, because you know you're used to playing like 4 or 5 days in a week, and now these things are cut to the 2 days that you're playing. And to get to those places requires money. Sure. So by the time, you know, so it was a struggle. But I'm not complaining, you know, just, you know, pointing out a reality.
Of course. Yeah, I'm not saying that at all. I talked to a lot of musicians, and I was always kind of concerned and you know, how they, you know, reacted to all this, because.
Well, you're the guy that was concerned. That's one.
No, I mean, that's your life. I mean, I started a fundraiser for the bands in our area, like a t-shirt fundraiser, where I gathered all these logos for bands, and I created merch for them, and people could buy their merch, and the money that was spent towards the merch was given back to them.
Yeah, there should be more people like you that do that. You know, not that I'm like, you know, but it's like stupid. It's you know, you have a little bit of pride, so you'll never see my band or me ever like put a GoFundMe or anything, sure. Even if I'm desperate as fuck, because I'm just too prideful, you know, to never let the people see me sweat. But, you know, I'm just saying, if somebody was scratching my back and I had nothing to do with it, it wouldn't be bad. I mean, you know what I'm saying? A little tap on the back never hurt anybody.
Yeah. But it was concerning in that, like, you know, you spent 20 years touring and creating music and playing for people to have it come
more than 20 years.
Okay, more than 20 years. Yeah.
So basically, before this, I was in bands also. So, and prior to this, I was in a band for another 4 years called Merge. And we toured. So I basically have not stopped since like I was 19. I feel like it keeps me young, you know, so other than my shoulder injury.
You look great.
Thanks. You know, I don't shove a bunch of drugs on my body, so it probably has. Yeah.
Edit that
drugs
out.
Are bad, okay.
Edit that out.
Yeah. I think it's horrible. You know?
Well, I'm glad to see you guys, get through that. And you released a new album last year.
Yeah, it's called The Sum of All Things. And it's a great record, man. It was easy to make. I'm proud of it. It's kind of like so here's 20 years, and this is where we are right now. And this is how we've grown. And this, it's like one of those. It's kind of like, let's take a look back at last 20 years. And it's good, man. I know what every song means to me. And I know it means different things to different people. So, it'll always be a great memory for me, that record, that mind where I was and the people that were around me. Yeah, that's it. I'm really proud of that,
Yeah, and as far as like songwriting goes, are you the primary guy?
I would say so. I mean, at least for this group, yeah, I would say so. But all the guys in my band have written or contributed to existing songs or songs that I've written. I don't just go, this is it. I'll bring the cake, and then you guys can throw some pepperonis on it or whatever you prefer on your cake. But like, what I'm saying? It takes more than one person to really make it special.
Of course.
Yeah, 'cause, yeah.
And, any big plans for Tantric this year in 2022?
Basically, the world is our garden, and we're just going to go in there and dig it.
That's a little Joe Dirt.
Yeah, little Joe Dirt. No, I just hope that we have to, we get to do what we keep on doing, and we love it. And I hope that people keep on coming out to our shows. I hope we remain relevant, because I won't know when to get out. I'll still be the guy who's like, what do you mean they don't want to hear us anymore? Like, come on, 22, So, I guess I'm very grateful to all the people that do give a shit like you,
Yeah. I mean, did you ever imagine that this would be, your career? Is this what you wanted out of life? Or, I mean.
For sure. I knew that I knew that it was born into me. Like, yeah, I don't remember being alive and not knowing how to play the piano, at least to some degree of good. But I guess that's why I never ever worried or took never had a net, because I was just like, what am I going to do that for? This is my destiny, and this is what I'm doing. And come hell or high water, I'm going to do it. And I was, like I said, I was, I've been really lucky as well. But man, I think I was too stupid to know that I couldn't do it. Like, I was like, oh, what's a 1 in 17 billion, trillion? I was like, totally winnable. So, lucky.
Yeah. And you said that, the self-titled album, your first album wasn't like, the most successful in your eyes. Which one?
No, it was. It's a great record. And I can compare it to like a lot of great first records, because you have your whole life to write that first record,
Yeah.
Then you've got like 8 months to write the second one, and less depending on how greedy said label is over the quality of what it is. But yeah.
But was there a record that, you love the most out of all of them?
And I would have to compare it to you having a half dozen kids. There's qualities about them all that you love. And of course you love them all, but in different ways. Mm-hmm. And you know which one is going to jail first. It's that little bastard right there. Toby, get the hell out. Yeah, but yeah.
Well, that first album was incredible. Like I will never
I thought
forget
it was
it.
a good record. You know what? I think Pearl Jam's first record, 10, was a
10,
great record.
yeah.
You know, and I think that's our 10. You know,
Absolutely,
and it'll
100%.
always be for that. But and you know what? We didn't aim for it. It was just something that happened in that brief history and time, and then we'll never repeat. But that being said, whether looking at your star or not, it doesn't shine just as bright. And by that, what I mean is that, you know, a lot of people, and I feel like this is very common, you know, people don't listen to albums. They don't even, I feel like it's very rare where people just like sit down and just listen to a record in a way of like, this is not a form of entertainment, but like an appreciation of this art and like, you know, delving deeper into it. It's like, oh, just like little play on words and stuff like that. And I try to like write stuff so that if you want to skim across the surface and just tap your foot and drive your Camaro down the street, fucking great. But if you want to pull over and against the backdrop of a beautiful place, just, you know, think about some shit. And they carry you there. I mean, that's my ultimate thing because, you know, I'm telling a story of, I mean, essentially all these songs, they're all like a musical form of my life. They're my diary, essentially. I don't write in a book unless it's like 2 eggs. Don't forget the coffee. But it's, but like, learn how to use the Zoom machine, you idiot. But yeah, so, you know, I like when people like come up to me and they'll be like, hey, you know, on that blah, 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 blah. And how you said it. And I was like, yeah, you fucking noticed that. And I was like, you know, sometimes you think that nobody would notice the little, and it's great. I like it. Like anti-clever. And then I do the hand.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of enter the scene too, like as far as that album was, like, you know, where people created records and they wrote records and they recorded records from front to back. And nowadays in 2022, it's more singles and shit like that. I mean, I'm an old school guy. I like the records in full. Are you just going to keep pushing out records and say, fuck that? Like, we're not going to do the single shit?
As long as I'm alive, there's a story to tell of like the last thing that happened. Since, you know, it's like, stay tuned for your next. And now, right now, I'm creating more memories so that I'll reflect upon them, because that's really the inspiration to write for me, is that like anytime I feel an intense emotion, whether it's anger or happiness or whatever the hell it is, like I'm coming down from that emotion, like the necessity to put it in this art piece, it becomes instant. And I'll be like, I have to put this down somehow. And it normally happens fast, you know?
Yeah.
If you can't get the song written in about 30 or 45 minutes tops, and you start just going over and over for hours, and you're beating a dead horse. It should flow. 35 minutes could be 35, 40 minutes is the length of really being intensively anal about. That's all it should take you, in my opinion, to write a song. You know?
Now, do
you know what? Yeah, go ahead.
Now, do you go on these fast car rides from Boston to Scranton so you have stories to tell?
Definitely not. I do that because I'm an idiot. No, man, I'm like this. I want every day of my life, like, when you look back at your life and you're like, there's the days kind of blend together, and then like it's mostly gray matter back there, and then these occasional memories, right? You were there, but I just try to like make every day count and like do something that's you're gonna remember that day by, and my only philosophy of being happy, which is the ultimate human goal, that should be the only goal that all humans have, but to me it's like, do whatever makes you happy. Change your mind a million times at any given fucking time. Do what fucking makes you happy. That's how easy it is to do. And even if it's just for a little second, and you have all these like little points, and then when you back away from it, it creates this line of happiness. And that's your lifeline. And to me, the only rule is just don't do it at other people's expense, like don't hurt yourself or others doing it. If you do whatever makes you happy at any given time with that rule intact, it's exactly how easy it is, pending that you don't have like a, mental illness or bipolar or, like some chemical. But I really think that life is pretty simple and easy to achieve these things that we think that are more complicated than they need to be,
Yeah, I like the way you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've thought about it a lot while speeding. But yeah, I do feel like that, people, man, I have this incredible, this privilege that I get to sit down day to day, and I don't get up in the morning in this typical way and go, tick, tick, and then become somebody's robot and an extension of a machine, and essentially, and then, I can like sit around and be pensive because, or just fucking consider things. People just don't consider things. Just able to sit through by yourself and quiet down all the noise and just be like, whatever the things may be. But I think that there should be more recess for humans in that sense, so that they could learn how to be better humans to each other, especially to themselves. They're just like, people are just like, money, this. It's just like, slow the fuck down, dude. And that's coming from me.
Well, I think, the pandemic, the first year of it at least, was, forced people to really kind of slow down and re-examine their lives. And I hope they did at least,
I don't believe that was coincidental. I don't believe in any coincidence. I believe that, this is, we're part of a bigger thing, and that it will lead you the right way. And that if you choose to ignore these like hints and signs and little things and hunches and, serendipitous shit, that's on you. But it's literally, life is always literally nudging you to where you need to be for it to be. And it if you just trust yourself, in your head, you're like, yeah, how many times have you said, I should fucking do this, and then you do it and you're like, fuck, I wish I didn't do that, but, and the opposite way, I feel like it's very easy to just like path of least resistance is generally the one that I believe is the right one. And not to say that you shouldn't work hard, because I work my ass off, but it's just, me saying I work my ass off is like, I go outside and play with my friends all day long, my ass off, So it's not necessarily work in that sense. But it is.
You referenced people punching a clock, referencing people that work on like a 9-to-5 job. Like, do you know how important like your music is to people like that, like people like us that
That's my responsibility. Even being like, that's one thing I take seriously, is that like, man, I'm not gonna regurgitate this piece of shit for you so I can get another check. To me, I gotta be like, I see that it is good. I think that it is good. And, but yeah, I understand. And I understand that also, just because I have opinions as a in a totem pole of famousness, of fame, like I have a responsibility to like, I can have an opinion, but also be respectful of how those things are taken, just shut the fuck up sometimes, basically. There's a time. I hate when people are just like, you go see a concert and it's like some political, like, what? We love the Navy, and it's just all contrived and shit. I'm just like, oh my God, like you're insulting these people more than you are, pseudo. It's just like, yo, man, just be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
don't be so overzealous. Yeah.
Well, people, I mean, like to see a concert is kind of to get away from the news and the TV and all that kind of stuff.
And the funniest thing, bro, and I don't know if you know this, but like when you see a lot of these acts and there's like this almost like epic, like evangelical, like kind of like story that segues these songs, that shit is like what you end up hearing every single night. And it's funny because I have them all memorized from a bunch of different bands that we toured with, that by week 2, I'm like in the back just going, 4 scores and fun, because I know all the lyrics to his speech. But, I like to live a little bit off the cuff. The only downfall of a little bit off the cuff is that, not all the jokes are going to be winners. And sometimes you just be like, boo, all right, fuck off. I'm trying. All right, tap dancing.
If people were to go to a tantric show, what could they expect?
Okay, this is what they expect. Imagine a band that you could see in any type of arena. Like you could see this band in a huge stage, you could see them in anything, but you're going to get the same effort and same, we want to be there. It's not a chore for us. And when you project that, whether purposely or not purposely, it's contagious. People want to be there with you. So we don't do that purposely. We don't get awards for doing that. We're fortunate that we want to be there and we can be. And as a result of that, the audience becomes a part of it and interacts in a different way. And as a result of all of these things happening, the fucking something magical happens. So we love that. And, I don't care. It's always nice to play in front of a crowd of, 5 billion. It's like, it's like, wow, this is awe-provoking. But it's just as, like, to me, challenging and cool to connect with just a handful, because those conversations matter and they'll be a part of your memory, and I remember all these moments I've had with people that come to my show that really affected me. And, that I'm like, yo, if I had a box of memories, this one's going in there,
Yeah.
If I'm making any sense.
Absolutely. No, that's what people want to go and see. They want to be able to, remember that experience.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, having a conversation with somebody that wrote something that affected you, and that person having that conversation with you, and you just having just a conversation and be like, so this is what you were thinking, and I was coming from here, and seeing the different perspectives of how this one story that has one truth to me has been, and people stick their own characters in the storyline and how differently it can be seen. You know what I'm saying? And it's an amazing thing because I purposely write a little bit in that sense. So it's kind of like a Mad Libs, you can stick your little to make it relatable to you, because I don't go, and Lisa was a damn, or, what I'm saying? There's no specifics, but there's specific emotion involved, but no specific story to get to it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's good.
Yeah.
People don't want to feel crazy, and they feel crazy when they're going through pain or some emotion or whatever, and they're listening or whatever. The brain and the heart mixing together. It's crazy. It's a powerful thing. But like when you feel like somebody else, you're like, oh, you like that too? Oh, well, now I feel less crazy. That guy does it. So we all need, like that kind of, silent validity, not to be confused with silent lucidity, silent validity.
Well, Hugo, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk to me. I mean,
dude, thank you. You're the one taking the time.
No. I mean, when I reached out and you guys responded, I was like, holy shit, I can't believe they A, responded, and B, actually want to talk to me. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Like that first album, my first year of college, my best friends, John Sharkus and Justin Hall, like I remember being in their dorm room and listening to this. We actually we took a trip to Boston. We had that CD on most of the way there on repeat. I remember when the album with Down and Out came out, I think it was 2008. That's when I met my current, my wife now. She was just my girlfriend at the time, but there's all these pieces of your music and like parts of my life.
Amazing. Well, man, I am so happy that I am part of your life like that, and that makes me really happy, man. I don't know, it's really it's awesome. I'm glad that somewhere I was there interrupting these beautiful moments. I met my wife just when you think that. Well, it's just like, yeah, they come at the right time. My songs come only at the appropriate times on the radio.
Of course.
But thank you. I appreciate it. That was a great
thank
compliment.
you. Best of luck.
God bless.
Yeah, best of luck with the tour. Best of luck with the new album, Some of All Things, and I'm sure all your stuff.
It's a great record. Everybody should go out there and at least fucking listen to it because it's good as fuck.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
All right.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
See you, brother.
Thanks.